truth is, I never knew my mother.
Okay, we need to talk about Wicked Part 3, because right now the Wicked movies are in this weird place. On paper, it's done. 2 movies, 1 big story, job's a good un. But then you've got the cast and crew out here saying things like...
We're actually talking about something. It's just under wraps and we can't say
but
too
it's
much.
not.
There'll always be another farewell tour.
You know, there's a lot of ideas flying around right now.
Cool. Thanks guys, that's not confusing at all. So yeah, Wicked is supposedly over, but the people who built it are already gearing up to send us down a different kind of rabbit hole, and then you have the fans. Half the fandom is like, leave it alone, for good is a perfect ending, and the other half is like, give me Son of a Witch, give me Lear, give me Ozma, inject more Oz into my veins. So today we are gonna do the stupid thing, the impossible thing, the thing Universal executives are absolutely doing in secret right now. That's right, we're entering the writer's room to cook up ideas for the future of this franchise. I'm Connor for Slurp, and these are my 5 pitches for Wicked 3. Number 5. Don't make Wicked 3. Okay, yeah, I'll start with this option. I'd argue this is probably the most popular with the Wicked purists, the true fandom that drives this franchise. After all, I mean, Wicked for Good already gives you the full arc. Elphaba sacrifices her reputation, lets the world believe she's melted, escapes with Fiero, Glinda cleans up the wizard's mess, takes the throne, keeps the lie, the wizard is exposed and banished, Morrible is dragged off to prison, the animals are free, the last shot takes us back to the Whisper at Shiz. 2 girls, 1 impossible friendship. It's complete. If you tack on a lazy part 3, you risk doing what Return of Oz did to the original Wizard of Oz. It could be too dark, too weird, too tonally over the place, a cash grab. Plus, the more you explain, the less magic it has to it. I mean, sometimes the bravest pitch is to say, no, that was the story, and we're done. And look, just because the Wicked story is finished, that doesn't mean we can't do more with this extremely talented cast and crew. Branch the team out onto other classic stories, which is literally what is happening with Sabrina Carpenter's Alice in Wonderland musical. Universal has greenlit a brand new Alice-inspired movie musical, and it's not Disney. It's not a remake of the animated film. It is its own thing. Sabrina Carpenter is starring, and hey, what's that? Oh yeah, Mark Plack, the Wicked producer, is on board to produce this thing too. Tell me that is not Universal quietly building a fairy tale musical universe, capitalizing on the success of Wicked, these more adult adaptations. This pitch is simple. Let Wicked end. 2 movies, you're done. Then put all of that energy into different corners of the public domain. The upside there is that Wicked stays special. The Oz story stays tight, the cast and crew don't come back for diminishing returns. And we also then still get big weird musicals with witches, queens, magic and talking animals. Just in different sandboxes. And hey, if you want a full breakdown on that Sabrina Carpenter Alice project, then we have a preview unlocked episode coming right up. That is your first look at that movie. If you want to see how the movie could connect to a bigger fairy tale strategy, keep an eye out on the channel for that video. But come on, let's move on to number 4, Wizard of Oz Remake. Alright, let's get the blasphemy out of the way. Yes, I know. Put those pitchforks down. On one hand, the 1939 Wizard of Oz is one of the most important American movies ever made. It's not just a classic, it's cinema canon. It's studied, quoted, parodied, glued into pop culture itself. The idea of remaking it is, how dare you, levels of sacrilege for a lot of people. But on the other hand, Hollywood is already trying. New Line and Warner Brothers already have a Wizard of Oz remake in the works. That's been public since, 2021 I think? It's pitched as a new adaptation of the book, and the reaction at the time was basically, is this just doomed to fail like every other Oz reboot? So rather than pretend that nobody would ever touch this, let's talk about how you would do it in the Wicked movie continuity. because part of me does feel like Wicked for Good is quietly setting that up. Dorothy is there, the Yellow Brick Road is there, her whole journey is happening just off to the side, but we never once see her face. I mean, director John M. Chu has said it's because she's a pawn in Elphaba and Glinda's journey, and he wants to preserve the audience's own image of Dorothy, and that does make sense, but it does also mean this: they haven't committed visually to a Dorothy, which makes it the perfect setup if you one day want to cast a brand new Dorothy and run the Wizard of Oz story in full using the Wicked version of these characters. So what is this pitch? You don't remake the 1939 film shot for shot. I mean, you can't. I mean, legally you can't. You can't copy MGM's designs, and of course emotionally you would get obliterated in comparisons. Instead, you do a Wizard of Oz movie that is explicitly a sequel, a prequel in the Wicked universe. And I mean, I guess this remake could kind of clean up some of the lore mess. Wicked, the books, the 1939 film, they all contradict each other in places. A Wizard of Oz reboot inside the Wicked continuity could kind of clean up all of Oz's lore. And personally, just selfishly, I would like a little bit more time with this version of the Scarecrow. He's barely used in For Good. A full Wizard of Oz movie in this canon could explore his reaction to that particularly brutal sequence that kind of just happened off screen. And similarly, I'd kind of like to see how he reacted to the Tin Man and Lion, who seemed particularly blood hungry in this adaptation. If Wicked framed 1939's Wizard of Oz as anti-Elphaba propaganda, suggesting what we see in the 1939 movie is the Wizard's version of events designed to manipulate the public and paint Elphaba as wicked, then perhaps it's time to finally see Oz from Dorothy's perspective. Now, does Hollywood need to do this? No. The original Wizard of Oz is untouchable, it already exists, it looks absolutely gorgeous, and it still holds up. And if Universal or Warner Brothers try to position any remake as the definitive version, then the backlash would be a nightmare. So I see this pitch as the most controversial one. It would make a ton of money, it would hard link Wicked to the main Oz myth for a whole new generation. I know, I hate that marketing term too, but it would also give these side characters way more to do. But the risk is you don't just mess up Wicked, you mess with the Wizard of Oz. If Wicked Part 3 is already a tightrope, a full Wizard of Oz remake in this continuity is doing backflips on ropes while the internet throws tomatoes. It's risky. Number 3. Glinda, the Good. Okay, for the first time, what if we said let's stay in Oz for a grounded, political, character-driven sequel? This would be Glinda's movie. I would set this maybe 5 or so years after For Good. Glinda has been ruling as Glinda the Good. On the surface, everything is perfect, shiny emerald propaganda, statues of the brave little Dorothy in the square, school kids being taught about the evil Wicked Witch of the West who melted and saved them all. But underneath, it's messy. The animals are free, but that doesn't magically fix decades of oppression. Some animals are radicalized. There are even wizard loyalists who see Glinda as a traitor. And there are the Gale Force remnants who like the old police state. Glinda is stuck between being a symbol and being an actual leader. The Grimoire is now hers, it opens for her, it responds to her, but every time she thinks about using it, she remembers what the spells did to Nessa, to Bok. Maybe she snapped once and hurt someone herself. Maybe she's terrified of going down the same path. The central conflict of the movie will be simple. A new threat emerges. Maybe a religious cult of the wizard, maybe a charismatic general, maybe a foreign power from outside of Oz. They want to roll back everything Glinda has done. Heck, perhaps you even bring in Ozma. I mean, in the original books, Ozma is the rightful ruler of Oz. Hidden away, trapped, then restored to the throne. Return to Oz actually did this in live action in the most nightmare fuel way possible. Here's the idea. Years into Glinda's reign, strange things start happening at the edges of Oz. Forests start turning to glass, time loops in tiny villages, old magic waking up that isn't Elphaba's and isn't in the Grimoire. Glinda digs into the old records, old prophecies, maybe even part of the Grimoire that she can't read, and then she finds a story that the wizard buried. Oz has a rightful ruler, a child, a princess, someone he quietly erased from history to take power. Ozma. Glinda realizes if Ozma comes back, Glinda would not be the queen. Her whole good witch regime is technically illegal. She is a usurper who took over from a usurper. Even if she did it for the right reasons, you can build this as a proper big magical thriller. I think Wizard is at his best when it's tackling these kind of real world issues, so I would just eat all of this up. I guess the point of this movie would be for Glinda to step out of Elphaba's shadow to really earn that good title, perhaps even becoming the Witch of Oz for real. But hey, Glinda has had a lot of focus so far. For what about a story where we could rerun one of the most iconic marketing campaigns of all time with both of our co-stars? Well, isn't that just a perfect segue? Number 2. A legacy sequel. Instead of rushing a sequel while everyone's still arguing about whether it should happen or not, you do the one thing that studios never actually do. You let it rest. Wicked and Wicked for Good come out. They crush, they live on streaming, they do the whole School Musical circuit, a whole generation of kids grow up with Ariana Grande as their Glinda and Cynthia Erivo as their Elphaba. Then those kids grow up, they have kids of their own, Wicked is now their parents. Oh my god, we wore that cast album out, moving. And then, that's when you do Wicked Part 3. Not as a direct part 3 of the same story, but as a proper legacy sequel. The same thing Hollywood has been doing for the last decade or so. Sequels that come out 20 to 30 years after the originals and made stupid amounts of money by reuniting the old cast and passing the torch. Imagine it, we're 20 odd years on from For Good, Glinda and Elphaba are now legends in universe and in real life. The Wicked movies are seen as classics for a new generation, and suddenly, the poster drops. Cynthia in the hat again, Ariana in the pink again. Tell me that doesn't print money. But the trick with a good legacy sequel isn't just look. Old people, you mirror the time jump. Film takes place roughly as many years after For Good as it has been in real life. The original witches are now in mentor roles. The emotional core shifts to a new generation. Maybe it's Glinda's daughter and Elphaba's child. We'll get to him in a moment. Maybe it's 2 new young witches at Shiz who grew up idolising completely different versions of the story. Maybe one of them grew up hearing the official Wicked Witch propaganda, and the other grew up on whispers that Elphaba lived. The old cast all comes back, not to refight the same old battles, but to deal with the fallout of their legacy. Glinda has to confront what a generation of kids have internalised from the lie that she kept. Elphaba has to wrestle with what it means to step back into the world that wrote her as a villain in every schoolbook. And the big advantage of doing this is that you don't have to solve the issue of doing a sequel now. The cast can go off, have families, further careers, and if Wicked ages well in, 2045, it could be sitting in the same cultural place the Wizard of Oz did for our parents. And then Universal can call everyone up and say, hey, who's ready for another trip to Oz? But hey, if you don't want to wait that long but still want to hit on the Kids of Witches fang, then perhaps there's one last option for Wicked Part 3. Number 1. Son of a Witch. Come on, was there ever any doubt? Let's talk Son of a Witch. In the book, Son of a Witch is the direct sequel to Wicked. It's messy, it's political, it's about war, torture, identity, and a confused boy named Lear who might just be Elphaba's son. He grows up in the shadows of the dead witch, wandering a broken Oz, trying to figure out who he is. It's the next logical step, but it doesn't quite line up with the films. Well, it doesn't line up at all. The book continuity has a whole host of plot points and characters not in the film continuity, so this pitch is not just adapt Son of the Witch, that would be a tonal car crash. This pitch would need you to take the best ideas from Son of a Witch and rebuild them inside the movie canon. Glinda is still queen, still smiling, but you can see the cracks. The lie about Elphaba's death has never gone away. Kids grow up learning of the Wicked Witch that melted. Some of them start asking questions. Some of them see Elphaba live scratched into back alleys and think it's a joke. But some of them don't. And then a young man arrives in Emerald City. He has greenish skin, or at least a faint tint. The old rumours flare up immediately. Some people hate him on sight, but some think he's some kind of messiah. His name is Lear, He doesn't know who his parents are. He grew up in a tiny village raised by strangers who never wanted to talk about where he came from. The only thing he has from his past is a pendant that looks a little like a green bottle. He comes to the city for answers. I mean, come on, that's a hook, right? That's a synopsis. That makes me want to buy tickets for the next chapter. And I tend to think if we do Son of a Witch, the story wouldn't end there either. Yeah. Wicked 4, Wicked 5, Wicked 6, Wicked 7, Wicked 8. So those are my 5 pitches. From remakes to solo spin-offs to brand new sagas, we've discussed numerous ways the Wicked universe can continue for years to come. But now I want to know what you want. If Universal announced Wicked 3 tomorrow, which pitch would you pick? What story would you pitch? Or would you just beg the execs to quit while they're ahead? Drop your pitches in the comments below, fix mine, break mine, or give me your wildest Oz sequels. And if you want to go deeper on the whole thing, we have a Wicked for Good End and Explain video already up on the channel. Plus we have a great preview unlocked episode on Sabrina Carpenter's Alice in Wonderland project, produced by the very same producer of Wicked. I'm sure you'll love that video. So make sure you're subscribed and don't miss anything here on the channel. I'm Connor for Slurb, and I'll see you down the yellow brick road.
This kind of day couldn't get much better, but it keeps on trying. Yeah. This kind of day couldn't get much better, but it keeps on trying. Yeah. Couldn't get much better, but it keeps on trying.